Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a great, wonderful day, or had a great, wonderful day, however it's flowing for you. Got a nice, cool morning, feeling pretty nice. We're going to start trying, if my idea up here comes out, to start putting up the front kind of semi-decorative or decorative fence line.
We're putting up the fence line.
What was that?
We're putting up the front fence line, and it's purely for aesthetic reasons. We are going to have a poultry netting on the further end to keep the chickens and the dogs and so forth on the property. But we need the front fence line because, well, I want a front fence line.
Well, we've been needing to do it since obviously our chickens that are free ranging all over the place have decided to free range their little happy rears all the way up here. So we need to start stopping them not to get out into the road.
And the reason they cross the road is because they see grass over there.
Yeah. So we're gonna just do the posts, and then we're gonna probably do like 2 rails of like log trees to show you that I haven't gotten back to it. I showed, I think, a brief description of that little lumberjack tool thing and I haven't really got to play with it because, use it in a while because, Homestead, you're busy with every other project that comes up and then the things that you weren't expecting coming up and everything else. But, so we're going to use that to make just like a 2 rail, because on the other side of the fence, we're going to have where we want to try to put our fruit trees. Now we've got down the ways a little bit, we've got about 4 apple trees, 2 Granny Smith and 2 Red Delicious, I believe. And then on the other side of those apple trees, that's where the pasture fencing, I guess would say,
there
go. So because in between the trees, we're also thinking about putting like some berry bushes and things like that, so that we can have the fruit trees and the berries. But we definitely don't want the chickens getting to them. And we figure maybe with the 2 fence idea, it'll also kind of stop deer from what we've kind of understood, doing like a little 2 fences. Deer don't really want to jump over into it knowing that there's something else on the other side blocking them. So
It may or may not work.
But
it's perimeter fence. Area where we're planting stuff we don't want touched by animals, and then the pasture fence.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's get started with that.
I'm so excited about the lumberjack tools.
Yeah, I am too. So first thing first, off to the coyote. Okie dokie.
There's chickens everywhere.
Right? Y'all gonna help? Y'all start loading posts. Ha. Alright, got a lot of my, I didn't get all the way down the fence line because I gotta kind of move one fence to kind of get a good angle. Because, when you go in to, drill your little holes, the flatter you are, the better, so the straighter your auger goes down. just be mindful, you know, kind of like when you're doing it and stuff too, because you know, if there's like some maybe little surface roots that are up there in your way, kind of maybe get you one of those little, oh, I don't know, they're a little spiky thing, you know, with a little blade on the end to kind of chop that root out of the way, so that, you know, when your auger goes down, it doesn't like slip on that and
Ride the root.
Yeah, ride that root and shoot it to where your hole wouldn't be.
Not that that happened.
Nah, yeah, not that that happened, but yeah, we didn't quite see it. It was just right below the surface. So, no one asked you, did they? No, they did not. But yeah, just be, you know, be careful. You know, when you start going in, go a little slow. I'm trying to talk. You know that, right? So yeah, just going a little slow. Make sure that, you know.
We've got one hole we need to redo.
Yeah. So I finally got back to this other pile that I had. Kind of separated it out finally to get my post. So most of these are probably about 4 to 6 inches is what I'm going to use on that front, because a lot of the railings I'm going to try to use around about the 2-inch mark, so that when I do those ends, it'll be that little 1-inch piece that, you know, slides into the 6 to 3-inch. Well, maybe not even quite.
And you'll see that here in just a bit.
Yeah.
So we are using kind of smaller posts than what most people would do, but again, we're not putting up this fence as a barrier to keep out bears or anything.
Yeah. I mean, most posts when you're doing a fence, you'll go get like 6-inch for your 6 to 8-inch for your corner posts for bracing. I'm not having a tight fence to where I need that H brace, you know. And, you know, a lot of your line posts then would be about 3 to 4 inches. So we're getting in with that line post idea with these. I'm going to get some of my bigger ones to put kind of on the ends, I'm thinking, just for a look. But, you know, like I said, I don't need like a big strong H brace, because I'm not stretching and, you know, wire and stuff to keep it tight. This is just putting them in, putting some railings in between.
We're using what we have and what we've gotten off our property.
So, gather up some posts, and take them up there so I can get some measurements for my railings I'm going to need.
Boosters.
Right? Nice little guy. All right, here we go. A little bit closer. So yeah, I'm just gonna throw in my post, kind of going down. Like I said, you know, they're really tall, but I'm ended up chopping them off. We're thinking about, so far we're thinking about 4 foot, maybe to the top of the post.
Short fence.
And then maybe bring that first rail about 6 inches down. You know, and then we'll maybe go about another 18 inches down with another rail, and just to have like a little look, just to show where the, you know, the property is along the front. Give it. I think it's going to give a pretty good look. It looks good up here. We're going to see if it does. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take my first post. We're going to get it good, straight, level. Camp it in, and then I'll measure off from here to where this next post is going to go to see how long of a piece I'm going to need to go in between. And we'll put those little pieces in there, the rails, so that even later on, my idea is, if say something happens to one of these rails, we can cut another piece, but we'll just cut the little pieces a little shorter, so that it should hopefully be able to slide in and go back and just kind of like snap into place. That's our idea. Like I said, it's working up here. closer. Wait. Got almost all the way down with posts. I have to try to find some more of these cedar posts. Pretty sure I can find a few more.
On this property, there's one or two out there.
So I'm just kind of like getting mine. I'm gonna try to get a nice kind of a clean edge on the inside, because that's where I'm gonna put that railing at, is in between here to go across to the next one. So we just want to get it
Level-ish.
leveled up a little bit, so kind of kick in a little bit of dirt. Looks kind of good there.
Goodish. It's a technical term.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you just want to put a little bit in, tamp it, and then you'll just put a little bit more in and tamp it. Make sure we can get a good, solid post.
So these first two aren't 8 foot apart because we've hit our property line. We're not tamping this one into place exactly. We're getting it kind of level so we know about where it's at, but we want it to have some play so that when we go put the railings in, then we'll stamp it into place where it won't move.
Kind of measuring in between about the middle part of this post to the middle part of my next post to know how long I need, and then that way when I put the little tannins on the ends,
We know
that's the correct
the-
word,
the-
right?
I think so.
I think that's
The total length of the log,
yeah.
not just what's going to be in between, but including the things that are going to stick into the logs.
Yeah.
Tannins, right?
I think.
You'll get the idea.
So that way, if it is a little bit long, I can cut those little pieces that are going to be 1 inch around, where the log's going to be a little bigger.
We
the
can
rail.
shave them down.
And I can cut that down on the ends if I need to, and still safely put it all in. So
Yep. Let's go do our first railings.
let's go let's go use the Lumberjack tool. Okay, gonna try. Everything seems like it's working up here. I played with it just a little bit. I haven't really messed with it before, or in a while. So this is I've got this on my little shopsmith. So, and I mounted this onto one of the shop piece tools. This is the log vise that comes with the kit of the Lumberjack tools. And I've got it on this so that I can press it in like that instead of trying to do a big handheld drill. Because you got to have a pretty big size drill to run it. I mean, like a pretty big horsepower drill, I guess you'd say. So I've lined this up to get into the center of my deal there, so I can then now put the vise down on it. And so now that should match up to where that's going to be in the center. I'll lock my little shopsmith into place. That should go in there just fine. All right. I had a friend of mine who kind of griped at me one day when I was using this to do some wood turning on because I wasn't wearing a face shield. So thank you for reminding me that I do need to use it. And it is a good safety thing because this will, it splinters off pieces. So this is the 1 inch that makes a 1 inch round basically a dowel on the end of this. And then I think I've got the 1.5 inch and then the 2 inch. I'm using smaller logs, so I just need the 1 inch. So, alrighty. Let's see if she'll work. Cross your fingers. And voila. And as you see, good idea to have your face shield because it does throw off a bunch of little chips. The nice thing about it is All nice pieces for fire starting. So, and see what it does is the kind we've got, make it where it curves back, puts this little piece, and that way if my log is a little too long, I can just cut it off where I need to put it over here. I'd like to have at least an inch to go into the other post. So, all right, possibly and hopefully the first rail. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Exciting.
I'm gonna see if hopefully it'll work. Now, let's double check. It should be. 58 inches long is what I needed for that first piece. And of course, one thing I've noticed too, when we use this the first time to play with, using it, is
no,
that...
you were flat out playing with it the first time.
No, wouldn't play with a tool. Is that the green, freshly cut wood cuts a lot better, I think. The drier the wood, it gets harder, so you have to kind of go into it a little bit slower. Alright, so also with that Lumberjack kit stuff, it also gives you the Foster bits that you need. And I did the 1 inch, so using the 1 inch Foster bit. And so, top of our post is going to be about here, about 4 foot. And we're going to come down about 6 inches. I'm going to kind of line that and eyeball it in about the middle of the post. Keeping myself pretty straight. Alright, so there's your bit. The length that gets put those little tenons that go in the post are about 2 inches. So I've kind of eyeballed it back right about almost to the end here, about a ½ inch away, would be about 2 inches in depth. I had to go down to the store, get a new toy, get a new drill tool, because our LB, they're great, but with this hard dried cedar, it doesn't have, I guess, the RPMs or the torque to get into the wood. So I went down and good old Harbor Freight and picked up a cheap one. Had a coupon, so worked even better. This one actually came with a little guide thing, so that I didn't even have to guess it what 2 inches was going to be. Smell that cedar. Doesn't it smell good, guys? That's one big carpenter bee. Well, that worked really great. And so, yeah, so then you just have these, and they slide right in to there. And so what we'll do now is we'll come across and kind of mark out a levelness that we want to bring these across to the other side. But see, that way they just, you already got that piece in there, and they just curve right on in. And then you get that little bit of a look right there, which is what we were kind of going for. And I think I like it. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good. Sean already thinks it looks pretty good.
I do like it.
Let us know down below what y'all think. it's going to be, the post is going to be roughly about that height, about roughly 4 feet. And we're kind of coming off this top rail about 6 inches or so.
Right.
I kind of cut it off
A little.
a little high because I was going to come back and make some little, I'm probably going to, angle it down some a little bit.
And if you can't tell, he can't cut a straight line for his life.
No, I can't. No. So it's already got an angle on it, but that's not the way
Not the angle.
I want the angle to go. And then what we'll probably end up doing, even though it's cedar, we're going to take that mineral oil and beeswax mixture. We're going to smear that right there, kind of on the top too. That way the water will really just bead off of it. That way it should last even longer.
That idea came to us from Darren at Down Under Farm and Forge. I will leave a link to his channel down below.
Oh yeah, great guy.
He's fantastic, and putting wax on it was his idea on our shelter building, so I figured it would work really good for this as well.
I was thinking it was going to work even better for this, so thanks a lot, Darren. I really do appreciate it. Well, the ideas.
The gap from ground to the bottom post might look a little large to you, but we're doing that because we're not going to have the fence flow with the property. We're going to have straight line all the way down. So there's a part closer to our mailbox where the ground is higher. So this is going to be actually really close to the ground. This is just going to be a straight line. We'll come back in another video and show you how we are going to do that, keeping it in a straight line the whole way. And then we'll update you on if you can get an angle.
Yeah, if I can get the angle.
But the rest of this is just rinse and repeat.
It's just all rinse and repeat. It's getting to be one of those days. The day got away from us, so we can't really show you a lot more. But I just wanted to bring you all along just to show you our idea of using a couple of different tools that we've gotten, like the Lumberjack tools, because of projects like this, and that's why the reason why we decided to go ahead and pay for them, buy them, because they're not real super cheap.
I'll leave a link down below to their website as well, because these tools are awesome.
They're great tools. They're easy to set up, but it was one of those things is, okay, if we're going to spend the money, which I don't think they weren't really too bad expensive.
No, not at all.
But it's always one of those thoughts when you're going through your homestead of, do I want to make this expense? Am I going to get my money really use out of it? And this is like a project like this. Definitely going to get our use out of it for all this, plus furniture ideas.
We have a lot of ideas for the Lumberjack tools.
All righty.
Thank y'all so much for joining us today. If you have any comments or you have any additional ideas for this, because we are not done with this and we will not be done with it when you see this, please leave those in the comment section down below. We may be able to take some of those ideas and change up our design if need be.
And that's why we're taking our time building it so we can get y'all's comments.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Sounds good to us. That's what we're going to say. All right. Y'all have a great, wonderful one. Love that y'all came along and visited with us again today. Y'all have a great and wonderful one. Can't wait to see y'all till next time. Later.
Take care. I love it. I love it. I love it.